It is finally happening. The moment UFO researchers, conspiracy theorists, and the public have been demanding for nearly a century. The United States government is preparing to disclose what it knows about aliens and UFOs. In February 2026, President Trump ordered the release of all government files on the subject. On March 18th, the White House quietly registered two official government websites, alien.gov and aliens.gov. When asked for comment, their official response was stay tuned. The world is holding its breath. Betting markets have over 17 million wagered on whether alien life will be confirmed this year. The media in a frenzy. But what if this isn't the moment of truth that we've been waiting for? What if it's the beginning of a carefully orchestrated global deception? What if disclosure itself is the lie? Tonight, I'm not going to just ask what's in the files. I'm going to ask what the purpose of releasing them now is. Because the evidence, it doesn't point to little green men from another planet. It points to a far more ancient and terrifying reality. One that has been prophesied for thousands of years. This is the story of the Great Deception.
This is Cryptic Accounts. By paranoid people. For paranoid people.
Welcome to Cryptic Accounts, a podcast by paranoid people for paranoid people. I'm Patrick Ryan, back again already, getting on a more regular recording schedule in the new space. Want to get more of this out. This week is one I felt like needed to get to really quick. Feels like it ties a lot of stuff together that's been getting covered since I came back in the last year, since the show came back. It's crazy. This is episode 99 of the show now. Hopefully Dennis will make an appearance soon. Talk to Mikey. He's doing good. He's going to come on and hopefully be a guest on the show at some point and talk about some of the stuff that interests him. Shout out to both those guys. Miss ya. But yeah, this week, I feel like ties together a lot that has been talked about on this show. And it's weird to see it all come together so fast. Feels like this has kind of been leading up to this whole disclosure thing that's been building over the last several years for a while now. It started with the Nimitz encounters and has just kind of over the last, whatever that's been, 15 years or so, has just been building and building and building. And now whatever they've been building us towards, they're getting ready to do it. Because, let's just jump into it, because let's be clear, what is happening right now, this is not like a rogue whistleblower dumping files on the internet. This whole government website, we're going to tell you everything, that's calculated, top-down, official information campaign is what it is. So in February 2026, following a viral podcast clip where former President Obama casually mentioned that aliens are real. Then President Trump issued a directive from his Truth Social account. He ordered his administration to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which UAPs, and unidentified flying objects, the old school UFO. Now, his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, quickly confirmed they were moving forward. And let's just listen to Pete talk about it real quick.
3 days ago, President Trump directed you to begin the process of identifying and releasing the UFO and UAP files. Did you ever think that you would be the Secretary of War in charge of potentially declassifying extraterrestrial life to the American people?
I did not have that on my bingo card at all.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Of course. We've got our people working on it right now. I don't want to oversell how much time it will take, right? We're digging in. We're going to be in full compliance with that executive order, eager to provide that for the president. So there'll be more coming on that as far as the process of what we'll do.
And what sort of time frame? Do you have any sense for how long this is going to take?
I don't have a time frame for you yet, but stand by. We'll get it for you.
And do you think aliens are real? Do you think aliens exist?
We'll see. I get to do the review and find out along with you.
So now this is the language of managing a narrative is really what it is. not of revealing a simple objective truth. Like, this is thought out on how they are rolling this out. The Pentagon's All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, is the center of all of this. They are sitting on over 2,000 UAP cases, yet haven't published their required annual report for last year, 2025. They've been silent now for over a year. And then now suddenly the floodgates are just preparing to be opened. The registration of this alien.gov and aliens.gov by the Department of Homeland Security is the most concrete step yet. This is the government preparing the digital infrastructure for a major announcement. But what are they going to announce? Experts who have studied past government disclosures, from Project Blue Book to the 2020 declassification of Navy pilot videos, all say the same thing. Don't expect a crash saucer or an alien body. Expect more grainy videos, more radar data, more documents about sightings that are officially labeled unexplained. They will confirm the phenomenon is real, but they're going to control the explanation. And that's the entire point. This isn't about transparency, because they're not honest. And I think that's something major that's changed with the internet and the way we can log everything and see everything. Like, we know they're lying. This, I'm convinced, all about control. The CIA, the CIA themselves admitted back in 1997, so almost 30 years ago, in a report that they'd previously made misleading and deceptive statements to the public about UFOs to protect national security projects. I think we all know at this point, they have a documented history of lying about this subject. So why should we start believing them now? Like, you don't get lied to 100 times by somebody and then they tell you something and you're like, okay, now you're being honest, because that's not the way any of this works, from all the way back to MK Ultra to anything. Like, they'll admit they were lying like 30 years later and then go, oh, we're sorry, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to tell you the truth now, but we were definitely lying back then. But we've changed. It's an abusive relationship that we're in, is really what it is. So while the government prepares this official story, the whistleblowers who forced this issue have been telling a much different one. In July of 2023, David Grusch, who is a 14-year veteran of Air Force intelligence and who also served as the National Reconnaissance Office's as their representative to the UAP task force, testified under oath before Congress. He claimed that the U.S. is in possession of a secret multi-decade program to collect and reverse engineer crashed craft of non-human origin. Grusch testified that non-human biologics, they're dead pilots that aren't human. Let's be clear about that. That's what he's saying. They were recovered from some of these crafts. He stated that people, humans, have actually been harmed and even killed to keep this program a secret. He even claimed to have seen documents showing the program's roots go all the way back to a crashed craft recovered by Mussolini's government in Italy in 1933. Almost 100 years ago, which was later transferred to the U.S. with the help of the Vatican. Yeah, testified before Congress. This isn't some theory. This, under oath, this is what's been happening. So just let's think about that for a second. A secret program that deals with non-human entities, murder, and a connection to the Vatican. This is not a story about friendly visitors from another star system. It's not. And if you still think that, like, wow, like, you need to dig a little deeper. And I'm going to make it real easy for you, because in August last year of 2025, the story got even weirder. So Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who chairs the task force on declassification of federal secrets, that's what she does, went on the Joe Rogan podcast and dropped a bombshell. She stated that members of Congress have seen evidence of interdimensional beings, not aliens from outer space, interdimensional beings. And I'm going to let her tell you.
And this might sound crazy, but based on our investigations and stuff that we've seen, okay, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we know currently with physics, and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce, because it would basically be like dropping a cell phone right off back during the time of maybe caveman. So like we just don't have the tech to develop it yet. What I can also tell you is, based on our interviews, and this has been something that you can go back and watch with the congressional hearings, but I was actually able to ask some of the witnesses, what are these things? And they keep saying interdimensional. And then when you talk about the interdimensional aspect of, are these things pre-existing, maybe outside of what we currently know as our own dimension? That stuff can kind of all sound crazy, but at the end of the day, my job as an investigator is to receive all the information, decipher it, and then ultimately, from a congressional aspect, if you do have contractors that are withholding information or operating outside of the purview of the federal government, there's budgetary issues, but there's definitely something that I can tell you with confidence that exists that we don't know how to explain currently.
So when you say that it operates outside our understanding of physics, what specifically are you saying? Like what happened?
To I guess break it down in simple terms is that I think that some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have.
Energy things? What do you mean?
Well, they call them interdimensional beings. I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have. And that's not something that I came up with on my own. That's based on stuff that we've seen. That's based on information that we've been told. And then also, too, I think that there's this historical aspect of, this gets into the deeper theories and concepts of religion. And I think the history that we currently know, and that kind of spins off into another topic of, you have the modern day Bible, you have this aspect of Bibles or books of the Bible that have been removed that explain and kind of touch on these topics. And I think that we're in a time and age where you have such a vast amount of information that we have access to via social media, via your cell phone, via the internet. And so it's really changing the way that we understand, the origins of life and the spiritual reality that we know.
When you
currently
say interdimensional beings, that they know that these are interdimensional beings, how do they know that?
Based on testimony, would be based on witnesses that have come forward. But what I can tell you is
the witnesses just were told that they were interdimensional?
that they've seen things. And what I can tell you without getting into classified conversations is that there have been incidences that I believe where very credible people have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space.
So this is a sitting U.S. Congresswoman who is talking about, she's referring to things like the Book of Enoch and Jasher, Ethiopian Bible stuff, as from the biblical side of it. And she has access to classified information and states on the world's biggest podcast that the UAP phenomenon is not extraterrestrial, but interdimensional. These beings are not crossing the vastness of space. They are crossing the veil between dimensions. And this, as I've been suspecting and as I've been saying, this completely changes the conversation. It moves it out of the realm of science fiction and into the realm of spiritual warfare. Back to aliens fleeing at the name of Jesus. That's, right there. And this, this is just a couple episodes back. I detailed how hundreds of documented alien abduction experiences have been immediately stopped the moment the victim called on the name of Jesus Christ. The entities, the grays, the reptilians, the insectoids all react with terror and flee. This is not behavior of an advanced biological life form from some other planet. It's the behavior of demonic entities who are subject to a higher authority. Now, with the government preparing to officially disclose the existence of aliens, we need to view this event through the same spiritual lens. The Bible warns that in the end times, a great deception will sweep the globe. The Apostle Paul, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, wrote, "The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve the lie, and all the ways that wickedness deceives those who are perishing. They perish because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion that they will believe the lie." A powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie. What could be a more powerful delusion than the governments of the world, backed by the media and scientific institutions, announcing that we are not alone in the universe, that our creators, our space brothers, they've arrived. This this is the ultimate deception. It's a narrative that seeks to replace God with aliens. It offers a new Genesis, a new Savior, and a new global consciousness. It's the fulfillment of 2 Corinthians 11:14, which warns that Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Of course, his messengers would appear as advanced, enlightened beings offering us salvation and technological advancement. And Congresswoman Luna's statement that these are interdimensional beings, that's key. And you need to pay attention to that because that is precisely what demons and fallen angels are. They are not from another planet, they are from another spiritual plane of existence. The UFO phenomenon, the physics defying craft, the telepathic communication, the spiritual and psychological manipulation of experiencers is not technological. It's supernatural. So, why now? Why is this happening in 2026? The goal of this deception is to fundamentally alter human society and destroy faith in God. It's a multi-pronged attack is what it is, and it's been getting set up for a while. Like, that's the way all these things work with secret societies, all this stuff that happens. Like, it's not we're going to do this in a year. It's phases, sometimes generations, that this plan is unfolding because it creates a new unifying global narrative. And as it gets phased in, like, it just becomes reality for the next generation, because that's what they grew up in. It's not all at once, slap you in the face. It's incremental, little by little. Because faced with the reality of aliens, national borders, political differences, and religious doctrines would all seem pretty petty, wouldn't they? It would be the ultimate call for a one world government, a new world order to manage humanity's relationship with our cosmic neighbors. Let's all sing Kumbaya. It's just, wow, it's all coming together real quick. And when you think about things like Agenda 2030 and smart cities and like what what the UN has talked about, what the World Economic Forum has talked about, like what all these oligarchs have been saying they want to do. And it sounds crazy until you go to their websites and you look at it and they write it all down. They've put it out there. They've come out and said it. Like, there's clips of them in Davos saying all these things, and everybody thinks it's crazy because they don't look into it, because they've got you exactly where they want you. You're going to work right now. You're struggling to pay your bills. You got tunnel vision on just trying to keep life going right now as the system crumbles around you. And it seems like it's a controlled demolition. That's really what it is. And they're turning you against the system right now with everything that's happening with Epstein files and nothing happening there. They're going to make you want this system to crumble. And they're setting up your answer right now as the world falls apart around you. It's just it's a pretty brilliant plan, like, and it's working because most people are not paying attention to this, and it's more people are waking up, but I also think that's kind of part of what they want to happen because they want you to be sick of the system too. It's kind of you're gonna ask for the thing they're gonna do to you, and they're gonna give you this answer that's gonna be the answer for everything, and it's just all of this really at the heart of it as you go down all these rabbit holes. As I've gone further and further in all these investigations, and the more I read and the more I see, it all ends in one place, and it's Jesus. And it's just that's at the bottom of all of them. And that's wild to come to that realization that all of this, everything is to deny God. That we're just nothingness on a rock hurtling through space at 66,600 miles an hour for like, and just the numbers and just the way they get you to agree to it by putting it in plain sight, because that's what they do. That's your tacit agreement. Is they put it in front of you in the media, in entertainment. They showed you what they're going to do, and because you didn't do anything, you agreed with it. So, 'cause, I mean, it is. It's to destroy Christianity and really all traditional religions, um, because they don't want any of them. Because if aliens created us or guided our evolution, then the Bible, just a collection of myths. Jesus is not the Son of God. Perhaps they'll be described as an advanced alien teacher or some human alien hybrid. And I mean, this is the doctrine of demons, and it's going to be presented as scientific fact. Third, this really prepares something else that's come up on this show a lot in the last year, and it's just wild to think about how the show came back and like the firm direction it's gone in, and things that I pray about this show a lot, and it's just the way the topics have come up and what I've been drawn to, and to see it all culminating is just like it's amazing. It's crazy to see, because all this preparing the way for the Antichrist. Because in a world reeling from the shock of disclosure, a charismatic leader could emerge who claims to have special connections to these beings. He could use their technology, maybe to solve the world's problems, famine, war, disease, and then he'd be hailed as a savior because he could do all those things. And that's the thing, the Bible actually warns of a figure who will perform great signs and wonders to deceive the world. And what could be a greater wonder than commanding a fleet of alien spaceships? And don't be surprised when the Vatican plays a role in all this, because remember David Grusch's testimony. The Vatican, it has its own advanced observatory, and its top astronomers have openly discussed the possibility of baptizing aliens. They'll be called upon to provide spiritual validation for this new reality to merge Catholicism, because it's not Christianity. That's not what it is. They will call themselves that, but that's really not what it is. And at some point, there needs to be probably more of Vatican episode research on just all the things that are wrong there. But that we'll save that for another time. Because this UFO disclosure is coming. It may happen this year, and it will be the biggest news story in human history. But it's not going to be the truth. It will be carefully managed, expertly crafted deception designed to lead the world away from God and into a new age of spiritual darkness. They will show you videos. They will show you documents. They may even show you a craft or a being, but they will be lying about what it is. They will tell you it's extraterrestrial when the evidence is shown it is interdimensional and therefore demonic. They will tell you that they are saviors when they are destroyers. They will offer you enlightenment, but it will actually be the darkness of the pit. When you see the headlines on the news, when you see the president of the United States standing at a podium with a picture of a UFO behind him, when you see the world celebrating our entry into a new cosmic era, remember what you've heard here, because this isn't disclosure. It's deception. This is the beginning of a strong delusion, and the only defense is to know the truth and to call on the one name that makes these entities tremble. And I'm going to wrap it up there. Like, I'm sure there's going to be more on this, but I got to thinking about this week, and I was like, this one needs to get put together, get it out there, because I think it really just built on, I mean, it's the culmination of a lot of the different episodes that have been done in the last year, how it's all just kind of coming to a head. And I want people to be aware, like, so share this, like, reach out, like, if you have experiences, I'd love to hear about them. But yeah, reach out. I love hearing from you guys. I'll be back real soon, in all the places, doing more and more with this. So thank you for listening, and keep reading, keep watching, paying attention, and let's be aware.
Cryptic Accounts is a fan-funded show brought to you by you. Please visit crypticaccounts.com to find out how you can help support the show.